We needed that. What a roller coaster. I'm juiced up. Just pounded the Red Bull. I look like a tomato. Let's get those W's in the chat for you boys right now. Mets win 7-6, walk-off fashion. Pete Alonso, how you doing? With a clutch RBI single. Mark Canha, how you doing? The extra base Kane. The bullpen tried to lose the game, but the Mets got the offense. This is a huge momentum swing. They needed this. They needed an energy sparker, and they got it. Get that hype in the chat. I don't care that's against the Rockies. The Mets need to win this ball game. I would have ranted my absolute ass off tonight. I was ready to after we were losing 6-4 because Michael effing Givens. I got a lot to say about this game. We're going to get my co-host for Bleav in Queens and Joe Ceraulo in the show in a little bit after I break down this one. But let's get those W's in the chat right effing now. Let's get it going. I am absolutely amped. We needed that win. We needed that win. Insane. Absolutely nuts, guys. Thank you all so much for chiming in for the latest post-game show here in WardyNYM. Again, I do apologize. I don't know why I look darker here on the screen tonight. That's fine, though. We're going to go with it. Let's get those dubs. This was such an annoying game and so many stretches, but thank God, Mark Canha, the extra base came out absolutely nowhere. I remember like it was yesterday, I had Schmucks in the chat on Twitter saying that Mark Canha isn't a good ball player. Here's that, and let me talk about a swing and a miss. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. If it isn't for Mark Canha, the Mets don't win multiple games over their past stretch right now. What a blessing in disguise he has been for the amazing guys. And talking about Schmucks, we got the Schmuck t-shirts right here. They're live. They're hot and ready. Make sure to get yours in the description down below. We got the link to the Bleav in Queens merch. This is just one of 7 available different designs. Mets-centric. Of course, I love calling you guys Schmucks, and there you go. So make sure to check it out. Appreciate you guys. Cubs ripped us off with Givens. Thank you so much for the dono, Shraken. The Mets did not give up much for Givens, but what I do know is that Michael Givens continues to be a problem, which drives me nuts. I said heading into tonight's game that this was a matchup, a series where Michael Givens can try to gain some comfortability, can try to get his confidence going. He did the complete opposite tonight, but thank goodness, Mark Canha, Brett Beatty, how you doing with your first ding dong at Citi Field? Pete Alonso, Starling Marte, the guys came out. They swung the bats. Jeff McHits and McCann, both McHits, if you will, got themselves 2 hits today. James McCann, only his third game this year, with getting himself at least 2 hits. Ridiculous. Oh, I got a lot to say. I'm a tomato. You see it right now. But guys, we got so much to deep dive on this game. But before I do, continue spamming those dubs in the chat. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe on. Help us get 100 likes for the first short-term goal, and also help us get to, of course, 18K subs for the next short-term goal on the channel. Mark Canha, how you doing? I love this man. He's been insane. Mark Canha on this season right now, everybody. 277 average, just under 800 OPS. For a man that is not known for doubles, is not known for home runs, not 1 but 2 extra base hits for clutch Canha. That is like Canha, however you want to call the guy. He came up clutch for the Mets once again, and I'm juiced. The Mets needed this type of rally of a victory. They needed to actually get tested a little bit and overcome those adversities. It sucks that they didn't have the offense consistently in this one, but thank God they showed up most when the Mets needed it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they can ride this wave of momentum into the Old Timers Day game tomorrow. Can't wait to watch that. It's going to be electric. And then you got the series finale on Sunday with Mad Max effing Scherzer on the bump, in which they did bobblehead tonight. A buddy of mine secured a bobblehead for me. So happy about that. Once I get it, I think I'm actually going to do it as a giveaway on the channel, along with a lot of merch we're going to have as giveaways on the channel over the next week or so. So stay tuned for that, folks. A lot is coming. Very excited, but continue to get those dubs in the chat, guys. But, man, I need to catch a breath. I'm fired up. But it pisses me off they have to be this fired up over the Rockies. But, again, the bullpen said, let's make this difficult for you tonight, Wardy. Let's do it. Let's do it. But thankfully, again, the offense came up clutch. So, guys, we're about to deep dive this entire game. And then once we're done doing that, after I go through the entire laundry list on the notes that I always do here for the post-game shows, once we get all done with that, I will then bring in my buddy Joe Ceraulo, co-host with myself and Anthony Recker for the Bleav in Queens podcast. Joe's going to come in a little bit later in the show and share his raw thoughts on tonight's walk-off victory for the team in Queens, guys. But let's just deep dive it. Again, I'm so happy that the Mets were able to leg out this one, especially with the Braves looking like they're about to win the first game against the Cardinals. Surprise, surprise. You know, it's almost like I expected that, everybody. But let's get into this ball game. Let's talk about what happened, because it starts in the first for the Mets. They turn a clutch double play there, and Chris Bassett, again, Seabass had a good start, had one bad inning. Would have liked Seabass to go longer than 88 pitches. Apparently, he had some lower back tightness. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's just cover up of a way of saying that, yeah, we pushed Seabass a little bit too early out, I should say. Regardless, the Mets, Seabass had a strong outing, deserves more than what you see with a 4 run. Should have been 3, but Michael Givens said, oh, inherited runners on? Just like Adam Ottavino and everyone else in this bullpen, they don't know how to act when there are inherited runners on. But let's get into it. Mets turn the double play in the first scoreless first. They don't do anything offensively. Then you see in the third, defensively, Brett Beatty gets chest at third, charging the ball, bobbles it, but handles it just fine, as you guys probably have seen the highlights by now, and gets the nice out to first. And then we get guys to the bottom of third. Staying on the Brett Beatty show, Brett rips an absolute no doubt piss missile to right, his second of his career, his first at Citi Field. I originally had Brett as my thumbnail for tonight's game, but again, after I saw what Mark Canha was doing, I'm like, Canha has to be the highlight right now. He's a number 1 star. I'm being a little generous by having Beatty as my 3 star, but again, your first bomb at Citi Field, you're going to get it. Brett was barreling the ball left and right, hitting up a lot. Just unfortunate that wasn't dropping for him. Was going right in the glove of the left fielder for the Rockies tonight, deep in the left field multiple times. But the Mets, they get the early lead in the third, 1-0. Then we get to the fourth. You see Charlie Blackmon with a base knock. CJ Cron hitting for an oppo single, and the Mets turn a double play to end it. Beautifully turned, beautiful 6-4-3. You know the works, guys. Then we get to the bottom of the fourth. Pete Alonso with a base knock. Mets will not score that inning. However, Mets grounded into multiple double plays early on this matchup, which certainly pissed me off just because it was like, this is a Rockies team against a Chad Kuhl that's had a 10-year ERA over his past 6 starts. It's his first start back in literally 3 weeks coming back from injury. And Kuhl literally early on was looking like Cy Young against us, driving me nuts. The Mets should not, again, the offense is starting to break out more tonight. That's awesome, but I need to see more of it, okay? And I don't think I'm asking for too much by wanting the Mets to have consistent offense against the effing Rockies, who are absolute dog shit, pardon my French. It's true, on the road especially. They're horrendous. They are not good. Stop making these close ball games. You're going to give me a heart attack, guys. Stop it. The Braves won't stop winning, so at minimum, win 3 of 4 or sweep this damn series. If the Mets lost tonight, guys, I would have been just as tomato-faced, just as pumped up, but on a negative. I mean, I would have been so pissed saying that Brett Beatty got his first bomb at Citi Field, but we can't even appreciate it because they can't score more than 4 runs. But thankfully, that was in an alternate universe. That was not the story of tonight's game, guys. We then get to the 5th inning. Mark Canha with a hit by pitch. McCann with a single. Marte with a clutch oppo 2 RBI triple. Gives the Mets the 3-0 lead, but it would not last, however. We then get to the 6th, everybody. We see Berard there with a bloop, one of 2 bloop singles that the Rockies got in the exact same spot behind Alonso, too shallow there for Marte and right by the first baseline. McMahon with a walk. Rogers with a 2 RBI double out of nowhere, right out of nowhere. Seabass, his game worked. Wasn't even throwing a lot of pitches there in the 6th, but he was starting to get worked a little bit. CJ Cron with an RBI single. CJ Cron has been absolutely horrendous post All-Star break, guys. I mean, this guy is not just someone that's a big bopper, but 1, he has not been consistent post All-Star break, and 2, he can't hit from cores for his life. But again, tonight, it's a different story because, of course, it is for our Mets, unfortunately. Cron with an RBI single. Grichuk with a hit by pitch, but that'll do her for the inning. It's all tied up, 3-3, just like that. We get to the bottom of the 6th. Darren Ruff comes in as a pinch hitter. He gets on a walk. Darren Ruff only had 1 at-bat today, but scored 2 runs, and we'll get into why. Ruff with a walk. Jeff McHits with his first single of the night. Mark Canha with a clutch RBI double. It looked like it was going high, far, and out of here. But no, it did in fact stay in the ballpark, unfortunately, just like Rogers there. It was this close to a 3-run bomb, but ended up being a 2 RBI double, whatever it was for him. Mark Canha, another day, another clutch extra base hit for, again, the god of the Mets offensively as of late. You can rightfully argue Mark Canha has been that extra base machine that other Mets simply have not been able to compete with. That's how good he has been. He's getting hot at the best time possible. For people wondering, why does Mark Canha get an extra day off and things like that? 1, you need to make sure the guy stays healthy. He leads the team in hit by pitches, got a hit by pitch again today. And I'm sure that's a factor into why he doesn't start as much as he does. But by all means, if Canha's only starting maybe half of his 4-game set or 3 or 4 at minimum, that's fine as long as he can stay this consistent. He's an on-base god, and he's getting power literally literally out of his ass out of nowhere. A career year for the veteran Mark Canha. Keep it up, Mark. And he surely did in this one. Jeff McNeil would be out at home. A great drill out. Again, I understood Joey Cora tried to get McNeil home on that play. I don't think it was a bad play. Just a perfect throw there to the cutoff man or whoever was throwing for the Rockies. And that leave the game only with the Mets with a 4-3 lead entering the top of the seventh. In the top of the seventh, talking about a bounce back. Chris Bassett comes out, 6-pitch, 1-2-3 inning in the seventh, and you're like, okay, we're going to get him in the eighth. However, this is where you have some controversy. Only 88 pitches, and you pull the guy after a freaking Charlie Blackmon infield single that unfortunately we could not get the throw to first in time. Seabass exit. Michael Givens comes in, and you're like, okay, Michael, just get the job done. That's all we need. Just get the job done. Please, Michael. God forbid. I guess that's too much to ask with this damn bullpen. And again, talk about reinforcements. We'll get into them, guys, in the Tyler McGills, in the Drew Smiths, and, of course, the guy that has been activated today in Tommy Hunter, of course, Perez, catcher for the Mets, who was hitting pretty decently, was sent to the minors. Unfortunately, that's what you have to do when you're dealing with this damn James McCann contract that gotten worse by the day. Regardless of his 2 hits today, I mean, talking about poor pitch selection calling, this, in my opinion, led to Michael Givens giving up the runs that he did, guys, because then you see there, after Givens comes in, Hampson with a pinch hit single, Iglesias with a hit by pitch, and then, oh my God, I'm losing my mind, Grichuk with a strikeout. You're like, all right, we're 1 away. We are 1 away in this damn inning, guys, to get out of the jam here in the 8th. But no, Diaz. Who the hell is Diaz? Who is this man out of nowhere? Elias Diaz gets himself a huge 3-run double. And just like that, the Rockies are up 6-4. My heart went right to my ass. Right to my damn ass. I was so pissed. So pissed. And I haven't been this juiced up if the Mets would have lost. But it's the fact that, again, the Braves would pistol whip the Rockies. It wouldn't even be close. It would easily be like a 10-0 victory. And for whatever reason, it has to be a close ball game. Driving me absolutely nuts. I need these bullpen reinforcements more than I need life itself. But thankfully, the offense would come out. They would be guns a-blazing. They would say, no, we are not losing this damn ball game. We got a big weekend coming up. We got the Dodgers on Tuesday. Let's get the ball rolling. And that is exactly what they did, guys. We get to the bottom of the 8th. Darren Ruff reaches on first because McMahon, it hits off of him. It goes into shallow outfield and left. Darren Ruff is a runner on. He's getting ready for his 2nd run score of the day. Jeff McHits with a single. And Mark Canha, how you doing? A 2 RBI double. And just like that, the Mets tie the effing ball game. It's 6-6. We're feeling electric. I'm like, the Mets are winning this ball game. And when Diaz comes in the 9th, he gives up a base knock that you would see there because McMahon gets the first double off of Diaz since June 16th this year because it hits off of him. Pete Alonso can't handle it. It goes far enough by first base. Jeff McNeil is not defensively there. He gets on with less than 2 outs. I'm like, I swear to effing God, if Diaz somehow, some way allows this run to get out, I wouldn't be mad at Diaz. I would just be losing my absolute shit. But no less, Rogers with a strikeout. And then there was a flyout to end the top of the 9th, the bottom of the 9th. The Mets said, we ain't doing extras. Brandon Nimmo, with that clutch eye at the plate, had 2 walks yesterday, had a walk again when it mattered most for the Mets. Got on. Marte eating a hit by pitch like an absolute bulldog, just like Mark Canha. He ate that shit for breakfast. Francisco Lindor robbed of an opposite field base knock and wouldn't drove in a run because of how the placement by the left fielder. Made a diving snag. The man did not want me to win my $100 parlay tonight. All I needed was a Lindor hit, but God forbid. God forbid. So, we have Pete Alonso. Pete without a hit so far tonight. He rips it. He gets it through the hole. The Mets win the ball game. 7-6 is your final. Get the damn W's in the chat. Get them in the chat. I'm pissed. I'm happy. I'm so pissed about this game. Damn, I need this team to ride off this energy and have it tomorrow. And the old timers win back on Sunday. Give me at minimum 3 or 4. You should sweep this fucking team. It's insane. It's insane that they only scored 3 effing runs yesterday. Thank God. Thank the Lord himself that this team knew how to constantly hit offense late in the game when needed. Because it's felt so much lately like this Mets team that they do not score more than like 1 run in the first 3 innings. They're not winning the damn ball game. But no, tonight was a different story, folks. Mark Canha, Clutch Canha, is your number 1 star. If you guys want to talk about how good Mark Canha has been over his past stretch of games, over his past 10 games, shout out Michael Mayer, who's always great with the stats. Check him out on Mets Rise, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't be this juiced up for a game against the Rockies, but you know what? I would have been this juiced up if they lost, so it's only fitting that we get this juiced up because of Mark Hanna giving me life once again on this Blackout Friday night, folks. We got the Schmuck shirts. We got the Get Wrecked shirts. Let's talk about it real quick, everybody. Make sure to get your merch. Look how sexy this damn shirt is. Get your Wreck shirts. Get Wreck, you schmucks. Merch is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Thank you so much in advance. All right, guys. Mark Hanna in his last 10 games. 7 doubles, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. 11 RBIs in 10 games for Mark effing Hanna. How you doing, Canna Corn? How you doing, Clutch Canna? Thank you for being on my ball team. Oh, my God. It's crazy because literally this bullpen drives me fucking insane. Billy Epler, Michael Givens. Oh, that was the only thing available in the market, This is the same Billy Epler that said that after trading away Holderman to get Vogelback that, it's okay. We didn't want to give up Holderman. Pirates were stubborn, want him. Holderman's now out with, I think, right shoulder or right forearm inflammation. Unfortunate for him. Sustain that to the Braves, of course, where he gave up a boatload of runs. But point is that Billy said, we're going to have a lot of options. The market is going to be nice and robust come the trade deadline. We're going to have options. You get Michael Givens, who looked like a decent option, but why not another? Is it going to hurt you? Because as excited as I am for Tyler McGill, as happy as I am to see Tommy Hunter back, and as excited as I am to see what Drew Smith can do coming back, if these guys do not step up and provide well in the bullpen, this could be the demise of a Mets team that very well might not win 100-plus games this year. Well, we're less than 20 away. We're less than 20 away with like 34 games left this year, and you're telling me you cannot add enough? If the Mets do not go far enough as they should this year, it's going to be because of that damn bullpen. I'm going to lose my effing mind. So, Billy Epler, you were on watch, okay? I've given you so much credit. I even ragged on you a little bit for not doing enough for the bullpen. I hate having to bank on uncertainties. I love McGill, but we have to see it to believe it, that he can produce out of this damn bullpen. I need him to step up. I'm sure he will. Drew Smith, Tommy Hunter, they can eat innings for you. But my God, if this team does not get far enough because of this effing bullpen, because I've seen Michael Givens not choke up, or you see Seth Lugo, who's been great lately. I got to give him credit. Post All-Star break, pros, trade deadline, sub 2 year right. Nice. I'm going to lose my mind. You're on what? I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Billy. This is your warning. I've defended your ass so much, but you're on watch. I've been saying this for a bit now since the deadline. You are on watch, my friend, just so you know. All right. We talked about Mark Hanna. Let's get into our number 2 star. That is going to be Starling Marte. 1 for 4 with the triple, the 2 RBIs. My number 3 star, of course, it's Brett the Met. When he hit your first bomb at Citi Field, you are absolutely, at minimum, in my top 3. 1 for 4 with the solo shot. Brett heard the music that Eduardo Escobar is going to be activated tomorrow. By the way, Eddie went 0 for 3 today with the Cyclones, all from the right side of the plate. Not encouraging, and what that tells me is Brett is certainly not going anywhere anytime soon. Because here's the thing, Eddie's far better against lefties this year against righties. I'm almost certain that he's not going to be facing lefties as a lefty hitter. That's why he's a switch hitter. So if Escobar is still not feeling great from the right side of the plate, okay, then you're going to be coming off the bench. You're going to be a utility guy until Guillorme's back or until you find your swing. Something that Eddie hasn't consistently found all year. So just keeping that in the noggin, folks, for people that aren't aware. Tyler McGill, not to get on a tangent quick, he did throw a bullpen today, had live batters, but they didn't swing. They just stand there like, what are you going to do? Regardless, McGill is going to be facing live batters sometime next week officially, and then he should be returning in September out of the bullpen as a reliever for either 1 or multiple innings, however the Mets plan to utilize him. And then Tommy Hunter activated, as we saw. Perez was sent down to AAA. But the big one, the big news before I get to the rest of the top 5. Malik, I don't got time for your shit right now, Malik. Congratulations to your Braves. But I'm pumped because I need this Mets win more than life itself. So stop the nonsense, Malik. I ain't dealing with any Braves nonsense right now. Give me my night, damn it. Give me my night. All right, we get Carrasco. Cookie with the oblique injury. He's coming back next week against the Nationals. He's ahead of schedule, just like what Max Scherzer was, but to a lesser degree now. Cookie coming back earlier than expected. Massive. We're going to get this man for the entire month of September, should there be no injury, going into the end in October and then into playoffs. Cookie's coming back. He's a week away. Let's get dubs in the chat for Cookie Carrasco returning. But my number 4 star, of course, is Pete Alonso. 2 for 5 with the game-winning RBI. And then McNeil. You could have went with McCann, but you know what, McCann? You pissed me off so much when you're framing your pitch selection night. You're out of the top 5. I ain't giving it to you, James. I'm sorry. I don't want you on this team. I'm going to root for you while you're here. but holy shit, have you been underwhelming to say the least since we've acquired you. And I was a big fan of yours with the White Sox. I guess shame on me. McNeil 2 for 4 with the run scored. That's your Warriors top 5 through the lineup as a whole. Brennan Nimmo 0 for 4, but had that clutch walk in the run score to win the ball game. Starry Marte 1 for 4. We discussed him. Lindor 0 for 4. Lindor got some bad luck today. I expect him to be guns a-blazing tomorrow, Saturday night, live Citi Field for Old Timers Day. Tyler Naquin, who was starting at DH, 0 for 2. That's fine. 2 strikeouts is what it is. Darren Ruff 0 for 1, but with 2 runs scored at the right time. We talked about McHits. We talked about Canna, Beatty, McCann, and then Vogelback had himself not getting a hit in his one at bat. Chris Bassett, 7.1 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 88 pitches, guys. Michael Givens, 0.2 innings, 2 earned runs, a 5.14 ERA. Michael, you're driving me effing insane. You need to stop the BS against a bottom feeder of the rock bottom Rockies. Edwin comes in, gets a job done in the top of the ninth, as you would expect. Edwin would a 1.4 ERA on the year, guys. I do see a donation. Let me address that quick, folks. Then we're going to bring in my man, Joe Ceraulo. He's going to share his raw thoughts on tonight's win. Maybe calm me down a little bit, or maybe pump me up more if you haven't seen me absolutely screaming for the past, 22 minutes here in the show, guys. And I'll cut it off at some point. I honestly, I don't know when I'm going to cut off the show. I do it for people on replay, but YouTube Studios, we're going to take over a day to process. So I don't know how long it's going to be for the show for people on replay, but do me a favor, folks, smash that like and subscribe button. If you want me to at least be happy about the fact that I'm losing years off my life by screaming about a win over the fucking Rockies, do yourself a favor, hit those buttons. Ed Blood with the $5 donation, he says, honestly, we should be in second place without McNeil and Canna's performance lately. Jeff and Mark have put this offense on their backs over the stretch. 100% agree with you. Ed Marte, for the most, Marte's been awesome too. Let's not forget that. Thank you so much for that dono, Ed. Greatly appreciate it. Let me see if there's any other donations I got to address before we bring Joe in the show, guys. It's that kind of night. I'm gonna be screaming in my sleep if I get any sleep. I just pounded a Red Bull, so who effing knows? Who effing knows? By the way, the strawberry strawberry apricot, best Red Bull flavor out there. Not a debate. I'm not here to argue. I know I'm right. Okay, I think that's it for the donos. Thank you guys for the donos. I appreciate that. All right, guys, let's bring in Joe. Let's bring in Joe. Jesus Christ.
Let's go. Oh my God. Let's go, dude.
Hey, Joe, I love that you found out that the Mets won by me tagging you on Twitter. That was a little delayed. The LA time ain't working for you, I guess, huh?
Oh, man, I got MLB TV. I'm always like a pitch or two behind. I'm watching out here in LA. Oh, my God. Let's go.
The Leonardo DiCaprio, the bite from Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, exactly. We ain't looking at Margot. We're looking at a walk-off win, damn it. We got it.
That might be sexier. I'm sorry. Pete's meat might be sexier than Margot Robbie to me at this point. Whoa. Dude, Mark Canna, this guy is going through the hottest 10-game stretch maybe any Met has had all season long, right? I know we're going to talk about the merch. I love the shirt, by the way. I'm repping it too. Let me stand up real.
In the description.
Bleav in Queens, baby.
Get it now. Thank you.
Yo, you know who would look good in this tank? You know who would rep the shit out of this? Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to curse on this live stream?
If you weren't, I don't know if you're listening the past 20 plus minutes, but yeah.
Okay. You know who would rep the shit out of this? Is my man Darren. We need to get Darren a Bleav in Queens tank.
Shout out to Darren, UK Mets, the best Mets fan you'll ever meet from the UK. Joe, before we go further, because I want to hear your raw thoughts, what's your biggest takeaway from this win for the Mets tonight? Sean, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Sean says, hi, Worry, hope you had a great day. Now I'm having a great day, Sean, but not up until the past, 20 minutes, half hour. Hi, Moline, you have tuned on every day since God knows when. Sean, I don't know who Moline is. I don't know what you just said in that second part, but I greatly appreciate the donation. Thank you so much for that, brother. Hype in the chat to you.
That was great.
All right, guys. Everyone get some hype in the chat for Joe. Again, if you guys don't know Joe, he's my co-host for the Bleav in Queens podcast. It's out after every single series here on the YouTube channel. We preview the upcoming series. And, of course, the man that is not with us right now because he's been busy doing this, MLB Network thing tonight.
Kind of a big deal. He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal. But Rec has been busy with that. That's fine. He gets the pass. It's not a podcast night. But, Joe, I want to ask you, what is your biggest takeaway tonight? Because I told you I was so pissed off. Michael Givens almost ruined my entire Friday night. He got awfully close, Joe. He got awfully close.
Yeah, me too. Biggest takeaway is just the fight in this team. It's insane. This team just doesn't have any quit in them. And, that's from the top down, right? It's guys like Buck. It's guys like Max joining the squad. The guys that they brought in, it's just forget on the field play. Leadership wise, mentally, Mark Canha, leader. Max Scherzer, leader. Starling Marte, leader, especially, not only, but especially to those young Latino guys on the team. I think one of the biggest differences is like last year when Lindor came in, he was expected to be this rah-rah, and Wrecker spoke about this maybe on our most recent episode of Bleav in Queens, like this rah-rah loud leader, right? And that's not really Lindor. Like Lindor plays the game the right way, smile on his face and everything, but he's not loud. He's not in your face, right? This team brought in leaders. They brought in just, you saw what Bogey said, right? When he came over, he said he never saw a team where there was not a single click, right? Everyone in this clubhouse just feeds off each other. The energy is great. And that's why it's like, one guy, like someone, Ed over here says, Givens needs to do Canha's laundry, right? Like Givens could blow
needs
it.
to wipe his ass, goddamn. I mean, seriously. Thank you so much for the dono, Ed. You're a beauty.
To that point, it's like Givens could blow it, right? And it's fine. It's next man up. And someone's going to have his back. Everyone on this team has each other's back. And that's why the sky is truly the limit for this team, right? Like we see teams that have good regular seasons, but come October, they don't have what it takes. And this Mets team, it's just so fucking special. It really is. It's always next man up. We've been saying that since April now. That's my biggest takeaway is just that next man up. It's, Canha for the last 10 days. Who knows who it'll be for the next 10.
Yeah, I mean, beautifully said, Joe, because like I said, this was a game that, don't get me wrong. Look, if the Mets don't win every game in this series, I understand, right? It's not easy to sweep 4-game sets. However, I feel very inclined to say that the Braves would probably do it with absolutely no problem against the Rockies, just from the way that they play against what almost feels like everyone outside of playing the Mets for the majority of the year, right? But this was a game tonight, especially that, again, I don't have an ill will against Michael Givens. If you're on my team, I want you to produce. I'm rooting for you every single time. I don't like James McCann, but I'm rooting for him every single time he goes up to the plate and he's doing his pitch calling. But at the end of the day, in a game like this, if Michael Givens was the reason why the Mets lost, and not even that, but I would continue to rag on this offense because you had opportunities. You could have absolutely pistol whipped a Chad Kuhl, who's coming off of his first start in 3 weeks, a 10-year ray over his past 6 outings. And we only get 3 earned runs on the guy in 5 innings. Like, it's inexcusable. At this point, it's inexcusable. There are many ways that the Mets could lose where it's more justified. If that was the way they lost tonight, that is anything but justified. So thankfully, they came out. They were able to get the job done. Let's expand more on this game with Sean. Thank you for the donut. Meant to say Malik has tuned in every day. Oh, I got you what you're saying. Yes, Malik has tuned in. Malik is one of the lone Braves fans that's constantly in the chat. We appreciate Malik. I appreciate him watching. That takes some cojones to come in here and deal with me ranting. He rants.
Wait, hold on. You have a Braves fan regular?
I'm multiple Braves fans regulars, and I appreciate them. But when they talk, when I'm trying to be pumped up, I got to shoot them down. Nothing personal, Malik, but shut the hell up. Give me my minute. Give me my moment.
Why would a Braves – is this like hate porn to them? Like, why would a Braves fan tune into you regularly to talk about the Mets?
We got regular Yanks fans. We got fans from all different Phillies fans. People somehow like the schmuck that I am,
it's
even
like
with being a
watching
rival
hate porn.
fan. I maybe hate porn. I mean, regardless, I appreciate everyone coming in, regardless on who you are. You help the traction, you help the algorithm, you help the growth of the channel. Not complaining on this end for the most part.
Love you,
Let's see your Pat. Thank you so much for the dono. It's time, Worry. It's time for if the Braves suck, give me a hell yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Braves don't suck, but we're gonna go with this. Pat does this all the time. Other people do. So, guys, in the chat, Joe on go. We're gonna do a good old hell yeah as if we're like a WWF wrestler. Guys, let's put the hell yeahs in the chat. 3, 2, 1, go. Hell yeah! Let's get them in the chat right now, guys. Let's spam it. Shout out you, Pat.
Let's go.
No. Again, that's always fun. I appreciate that. That's always good.
Oh, I love coming on here acting like a meathead.
The Mets dominate against the Braves. And Joe, I'm sorry, am I bursting your eardrums and those little headphones you got right now?
No, dude, it's great. I haven't had like 80% hearing in a long time. So
okay, that makes it 2 of us. Literally every single time I'm watching the Mets game, it's like the neighbors could probably hear because I'm deaf as shit.
Yeah.
All right. So we saw Mark Canha continue to explode offensively in tonight's game, right? And it's amazing to see his approach because, as I mentioned earlier in the show, Buck emphasized, how we have Naquin now, how they can platoon things, just to help justify why Mark should be playing every day, along with the fact that there are some, external things that he can't really discuss. One of them that kind of popped in my mind that I'm surprised I didn't think about sooner was Mark Canha, like either being tied or leading the Mets in hit by pitches. He's been leading in the league for a large majority in hit by pitches since he came in the league. So you have to wonder if that is a factor as well. A guy that's getting beaten up constantly at the plate. He hugs the strike zone a lot. He doesn't constantly lean into pitches, but he knows when there's a good chance he's going to get a hit by pitch against a guy that's a little erratic. But what Mark has been able to do over this past 10-game stretch, I listed it already: 7 doubles, Joe. 3 home runs, 11 RBIs for Mark Canha. If you would have told me when the Mets originally signed Mark Canha, would you have expected him to not, 1, have the impact that he's had on the Mets down the stretch here, but 2, be batting right around 280 with an 800 OPS, far and away the best numbers of his career for a guy that entered the season with a low batting average, a high on-base guy, has been one of the best on-base players since he entered the league, along with Brandon Nimmo, Mike Trout, among others. But would you have expected this type of impact to this type of degree? Let me hear it, Joe.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, when they signed Mark Canha, I was like scratching my head a little bit. I mean, look, he's always been a good clubhouse guy. He's a good hitter. In fact, he's actually in past years had more pop than we've seen up until the past 2 weeks. But, coming into the year, I was like, all right, we got Marte. We're set. We've got, figured Nimmo in right, Marte in center. Obviously, that reversal shocked a lot of people, and it's worked out beautifully. Nimmo's having a Gold Glove year in center. But I was really big on JD Davis can play left. We'll figure that out, right? And man, was I wrong? Obviously, JD and Dom just couldn't hit this year, and no longer with the big league team. JD with the Giants, Dom, of course, still with the organization in AAA. But yeah, the kind of deal I was like, I didn't love it because I was a huge JD Davis fan, and I'm like, well, this is going to take ABs away from JD. I couldn't have been more wrong. He's been so important to this team. This team, it's so hard to find like a team MVP because you can make a legitimate argument for, Alonso, obviously, Lindor, obviously, McNeil, who just, is the hottest man alive at the plate month of August, batting like, 430. There's so many guys. Marte's, had his streaks where he was carrying the offense. And a guy like Canha, while no one's going to, I think, make the argument that he's the team MVP, he might be like the unsung hero of this team in the same way we talk about Trevor Williams being the unsung hero of the pitching staff, right? Mark Canha, I mean, he's just, when other guys have faltered, Canha's stepped up, and he's been consistent all year long. He hasn't been, the star. He's never been the number one guy you look to, but whether you want to hit him 5th, 7th, 9th, he's just been consistent all year. He gives you great at-bats. He sees a lot of pitches per AB. I think he's second on the team to Nimmo in that category. He's just a fighter. He's a smart, heady player. Doesn't need the limelight. Doesn't need the headlines. He just, shows up every day and works his ass off. And it's impossible not to love this guy. He's also like one of the smartest baseball guys, I think, out there at any given time, which this team has a lot of, right? Like Max Scherzer, maybe the smartest baseball mind in the entire MLB. Buck Showalter, among all managers, I always say he's the smartest guy in the diamond. Umpire, manager, doesn't matter wherever he is. This team is just so damn smart. And maybe it comes with the fact that the Mets are the oldest team, right? Average age in the MLB. And, a lot of people look at that as a negative. It's baseball. I look at that as a positive, right? It's not the NBA, it's the MLB. And I think to have, all these savvy vets mixed with the young talent, this team is just so perfectly constructed to me. And Canha is another guy who fits right in.
Mark Canha is exactly Trevor Williams for this offense. I think that's a perfect way of looking at him, right? Trevor Williams has just casually had a 3-year race since arriving with the Mets.
284 this year, right?
284, and again, out of the bullpen, he's like 1.5, if not less. Yeah. I mean, he's been absolutely electric, and Mark Canha has had those similar vibes. Not the sexiest name when you look at the guys available on the Mets right now, even though that Canha always looks swaggy. Love the shit ton of pine tar he has on his helmet. I think it looks sick. Even though Brett Beatty, I would say, took the cake as the swaggiest man tonight for viewing
the black chain.
The black chain. He had everything going. But again, I don't want to get too excited right now. Let's go back to the Mark Canha talk a little bit. It's his type of impact on this team, and you're right, he uses a lot of information. That's kind of rare because the Mets struggled with an overwhelming amount of information, going from a team that never really used analytics. First year under Steve Cohen, Zach Scott, the GM at the time was known as the analytics guru, just threw anything and everything informationally at the guys, and it was overwhelming for the vast majority of these hitters that led to down years. But this year, how the Mets have balanced things and Canna's ability to, McNeil's a guy that's not looking at a lot of info at all heading up to the plate. He wants to do his own game, knows what works, what brought him up in this league, and made him an all-star right from the jump. Same thing can be said with Brandon Nimmo and other guys, even Alonso to a degree, but Canna, very analytical. I remember him in spring training, focusing on his launch angle, trying to get more, home run power in his swing. Like, very little things that he said that he was honestly stressed out about because he couldn't even go on enough of a tangent within the time that Gelbs was interviewing him to explain just how much stuff he's doing prep work before every game and between at-bats. I mean, shout out to Mark Canna. It is not an easy thing to do to be that informed on an at-bat to at-bat type basis and still have the type of production, the type of impact he has had in this club, Joe. But Malik, talking about the Braves fan, thank you so much for the $1 dono. Again, it's all in love, regardless on us going back and forth. I appreciate every single one, so thank you guys so much for that dono. Shout out to you. Ed with another $2 donation. It's National Dog Day. This team is full of dogs. Talk about the dog. Let's give a shout out again to Seabass. Seabass had another quality outing for the Mets. Yeah. Got a little roughed up that we saw there in one of his final innings in the sixth. However, didn't throw a lot of pitches, just some bad luck. And again, I almost feel like I want to blame everything on James McCann. I know I shouldn't, but I feel like if Tomasino was catching tonight, maybe, just maybe, there are some things that go McCann's, Bassett's way, the same way that Givens on the pitch that he threw that was more in a vulnerable zone for Diaz to get that 3-run double. I don't know if that's the case if Nito is behind the backstop tonight. So, Joe, what's your take on that, especially with McCann's lack of defense? I feel we've seen, Recker said it best in our recent pod that he's never really been a fan of his defense, especially this year. He started off great, was again in the 90 to 99th percentile in framing. Yeah. Him and Nito were like the defensive gurus back there. Even when they didn't have the offense, they were making up for it in large parts by their great defense and drilling guys out when needed at second, night and day. But what's been your take on McCann, especially coming back from another injury? Just a guy that, yes, he did provide offense. Only his third multi-hit game this season, which is ridiculous to say. But from a defensive standpoint, I feel like he is still costing the Mets more than what they could be dealing with if Tomasino or even Michael Perez, who was just sent back down to AAA today to make room for Tommy Hunter, would be providing. So what's your take on James McCann right now from his defensive standpoint?
Yeah, look, I don't want to speculate too much on whether or not a different catcher would have prevented Bassett's inning. I think actually it was my fault that Bassett got touched up that inning because that was the only half inning of the game I missed. I went to go get a coffee so that I could be riled up. And
imagine missing like a half inning of baseball because you need your Starbucks.
Dude, I gotta get my Starbies. You know how it is.
LA,
wild, by the way,
turned you into something that has yet to be desired, Joe.
Very LA of me. Yeah, it was wild. I left. We were up 3-0. I come back. It's 3-3. I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? So I'll take the blame for there. While I don't want to speculate, there's no doubt McCann's defense has definitely slipped up. Lately this season.
Not to cut you off, but remember the pitch that was supposed to be a clear strike for Diaz, and it's a ball because he dropped.
And he dropped it. First pitch, right? Wasn't that his first pitch?
First pitch. Yeah.
Yeah. So his defense has obviously taken a hit. Look, I always go back to Daniel Murphy. Right? Murphy was never a guy known for his defense, but I go back to him in the sense that Murphy was an extreme case of this, but I think a lot of guys, when things aren't going your way at the plate, it affects you in the field. Most guys, not everyone, most guys. And I think, with McCann, he's struggled so mightily as a Met at the plate, especially this year, that maybe, earlier in the year when the season was young and fresh and, if you have a bad April, you still have a full season to redeem yourself, right? It didn't mean as much. But now we've gone through a full season of McCann really, for lack of a better word, stinking at the plate. And I think as the season's progressed, maybe that in the back of his mind has gotten to him mentally, and maybe it's affected his defense as well. Just speculation on my end. But I also want to give him his propers, man. He had one of his best offensive games of the year tonight. Only third multi-hit game of the year. So credit to him. He was crucial in this win, just like everyone else. The lineup, left a couple guys on early, but overall, it was a good offensive night for the Mets. I mean, they haven't scored this many runs since when? Since Sunday against the Phillies. McCann was a piece of that, just like everyone else. And I don't want to rag on him too much. I don't want to speculate too much. I do want to focus on Bassett, though. Bassett might have pitched his way out of the National League Pitcher of the Month for August by giving up those 4 earned runs tonight. but it was still a great outing from him. He's been absolute nails now for 12 straight starts. I mean, I can't rave enough about this guy. He goes out there expecting to throw 9 every time he touches the ball. He's a guy who I just feel like expects to throw 130 pitches every time he touches the ball. And that's going to lead me to do something I hate to do, because I always call him the smartest man on the diamond. It's going to lead me to question Buck. And there's 2 things I'm questioning, right? First off is the selection of bringing in Givens in the 8th. I know last night that we used Lugo, Diaz, Ottavino, our big 3, if you will, out of the pen. I get that. But Givens has done nothing since he's been a Met to warrant any role outside of mop-up relief. You know,
it was
whether
Givens or May. So who would you prefer in that situation?
I mean, Connor Gray, go Bonnies. Like, you know, I'm sorry. And Trevor May's another guy who I love, but he's just, you know, earlier in the year, I was like, all right, well, he's hurt. You know, let's see what happens when he comes back. And the results haven't been there. And I love Trevor May, and I feel bad, you know, but I got to call it how it is, right? We just have to. I think Trevor May knows he hasn't pitched up to the standard that both he expects and that the fans and the organization expect. So Givens and May, I mean, you know, my thing is, you know, also not just the fact that they were brought in, it's the fact that Bassett was taken out. He was at 88 pitches. He gave up a single. Whoop-de-doo. He had 1 on, 1 out. Like, Bassett he's a guy that routinely can throw 110 pitches. So to pull him at 88, I mean, I thought that was Bassett's inning to finish unless he started getting shelled. And I get it. You don't want to get to the point where he's getting shelled. But I thought that was, you know, maybe if he gave up another hit, you pull him. I thought that was too soon to pull Bassett out of the game. I would have let that 8th inning be his inning.
Yeah, like, was there lower back tightness that you texted me, or was that a joke?
No, I texted you that. Side note from the Mets here, Justin Steele with the Cubs, who I had 2 prop bets on tonight, left with lower back tightness. I had Steele to go over 17.5 outs and over 6.5 strikeouts. He left with lower back tightness. He was dealing against Milwaukee, 5 1/3, so that's only 16 outs, missed that mark by 2, and 6 strikeouts, missed that mark by 1 strikeout. He was only at 88 pitches, was absolutely dealing. That was the guy who had lower back tightness. And yeah, by the way, bets should be voided if a guy leaves with injury. If you take a prop bet and a guy leaves with injury, because Steele was absolutely wheeling and dealing out there, man.
Yeah, so I misspoke. I read it quick, and I was like, oh, did Bassett get pulled because of lower back tightness? I'm like, okay, that's good to know, but that's even more frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. Bassett's went easily 100 plus pitches. Why the hell are you not keeping? Why are you not keeping him in, Buck? I get it. You're trying to prioritize maybe bigger matchups, but this is also the same Mets team that purposely did not have Jake pitch on Sunday. Not Sunday, the final game against the Yanks, and is purposely not having Max pitch potentially against the Dodgers because they're giving him an extra day, but they don't want to do 2 extra. So I'm like, okay. I think that this should go universally for the entirety of the rotation. If we're basing things on big matchups, you know, just frustrating. I love Buck. Buck has won the Mets many ball games this year. I can't say the Mets would be here at 81 wins now at this juncture in the season without him. There's no denying that. But there's also rightful criticism. I think to a degree you can rightfully criticize Buck pulling Bassett before he's even at 90 pitches. Let him try to get out of his own jam of a Charlie Blackmon single. It wasn't like it was bases juice less than 2 outs here.
Can I give 2 hot takes really quickly?
Give me them hot and steamy, Joe.
All right. First one might be like lukewarm. Second one's going to be hot. So lukewarmish take. If the Mets win tomorrow with Peterson, if they win handily, because obviously when Peterson pitches, we expect like a Peterson, Trevor Williams platoon. Because in fact, tonight I was thinking I wanted Trevor Williams in the 8th inning over Givens and May. When you're like Givens or May, I'd rather see Trevor, but I'm thinking in the back of my head, he's probably, because Peterson has rarely gone past 6 innings, might be Peterson for 5 or 6, Williams for 2. So that's why I'm thinking we didn't see Trevor. But if Peterson's dealing and if the Mets blow away Colorado tomorrow, I would like to see Williams start Sunday, give Scherzer push back and go Max, Jake, and then what would it be like? Or Max tie Jake against the Dodgers?
I would say it would be Max Jake because you're already, as of now, Jake is perfectly lined up to pitch against the Dodgers. Might even be an extra day. Wait, no. Can I do that?
No, but didn't Ty go after Max against the Yankees? So isn't that the order they're going? Max, Ty, Jake?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it comes down to how much extra rest you want to give. Because Jake,
I think with Jake, they just want to keep giving him rest, honestly.
Okay. All right.
So I don't care the order, but I'm saying those 3 guys, That's what I would like to see. If we annihilate Colorado tomorrow, and Trevor going on Sunday is by no means a giveaway game. I mean, Marquez has an ERA north of 5. It's just like, I would rather do that. If we're up 3-0 and we know we've solidified winning 3 out of 4, I'd rather have Trevor start Sunday and then run out Max, Ty, Jake against the Dodgers. Now, are you ready for my hot take? Like this one's piping. Once Cookie comes back, I wouldn't mind shutting Max down for 10 days on the IL in mid-September to have him at his best for the playoffs. The Mets have the weakest September schedule in baseball. Last postseason, Max Scherzer had a dead arm, and let's be honest here, Max pitched lights out when he got off the IL. Didn't miss a beat. Didn't take a start to get back into the swing of things. Was nails against Cincinnati. Shoved, but got no run support in that first start back. And his last few starts, really every start since the home game against Atlanta, we're talking, Friday night with the Phillies, the game you and I were at, where he went 7 innings, 1 run, but really battled. Didn't look like he had his best stuff. We're talking in Atlanta, where, again, Ottavino allowed 3 of Max's 4 earned runs to cross home plate. But Max, even though he left 6 1/3, 1 earned when he left the game, battling, couldn't locate well, couldn't find the strike zone. Yankees, trouble locating, allowed 4 earned. I wouldn't mind, once Cookie is back, shutting Max down for just 10 days, like 1 or 2 turns through the rotation. When we're playing teams like, the Pirates, 6 games in 2 weeks, right? Give him a little break. Just 10 days. Again, I said that 3 times already. I'll make it 4. Just 10 days. Nothing crazy, folks. And have him fresh in October, because I don't want Max Scherzer going down in October with a dead arm again when we've seen 3 shaky starts for his standards. Not for most, not for average pitchers, but for Max's standards, we've seen 3 shaky starts in a row. I want him fresh come the postseason.
Okay, so before I respond to that hot take, because that's a big one, haven't even thought about considering or talk about it. Before we get to it, I want to shout out Sprite, great member on the channel. Thank you so much for the dono. Alicia, I know that's your name, so shout out to you. Thank you so much for the dono. Always appreciate your support. Marvin with the $5 donation says, wasn't pretty, but nice win, but Givens needs to be sent down. Buck have to have much faith in him, and our bullpen needs a spark. Bullpen will get the spark, and the Mets will have decisions in that pen upon the return that we see now with Tommy Hunter. And then, of course, you're going to have Tyler McGill and Drew Smith returning, I'd imagine, within the next 2.5 weeks. So they're both returning fairly early September. So that's to be determined. Thank you guys for those donations. Let's continue to get those likes. Let's get some hype in the chat, guys. Please make sure to check out Joe Ceraulo, our co-host for Bleav in Queens, myself, Joe, and of course that being, and yes, Anthony Recker, former Met, now MLB Network analyst. Bleav in Queens merch in the description down below as well. Checking out 7 different ones, especially for anyone. Again, I don't know if it'll be able to ship in time, but we do have a trumpet shirt, and Timmy Trumpet is going to be performing this Tuesday, my birthday, August 30th. Jake might be pitching that game as well. If Diaz comes out, we're going to get the trumpets live with Timmy Trumpet for Narco, so make sure to check it out. But Joe, hold
on. We got a birthday coming up, folks. Let's get those donations in. Come on, Tyler's turning he's turning 13, guys. Get those donations in.
13, yeah. I was born on a leap year, Joe. Exactly. Speaking of games, though, while Joe, I think you can respect this a little bit. Even if I don't go to the game on my birthday, because I really do want to cover it here, I'm not going to lie. I've already got locked in. I'm going to that Friday's game with Mad Max lined up to pitch against the Nationals, start the series. Taiwan Walker's giving out free effing tacos for Thai Tacos at 4:30 in the parking lot. I'm getting my ass there mad early. I'm meeting Ty, getting a photo, going to drop the pod. Maybe we can get him as a guest in the office.
You're going to wear a shirt. You're going to wear a Bleav in
Queens of course.
Shirt,
Yeah,
right?
I'm probably going to wear the Schmuck shirt, as a matter of fact, because it's a blackout.
So, it's got Bleav in Queens on the shoulder,
we got Bleav in Queens right there. Make sure to check it out, folks.
That's sharp.
So when I see Ty, I'm going to talk with him briefly, get a photo, see if he could check out the pod, and mention to him, we'd love to have you on as a guest during the off season, as long as you're still Met, right?
Ask him, by the way, if we can send him a shirt.
Oh, bet. That's a great idea.
Ask him. Yeah. I mean, even if it says, whichever one he wants, ask him if we can send him a shirt. That'd be dope. I love Ty. He's a perfect Met. I mean, he's a great community guy. He's a fun guy. He owns up. He is so damn accountable. That's what I love about Ty. He has zero excuses, zero bullshit. His post-game press conference compared to Spencer Strider's during that 5-game series, night and day. Ty took all the blame. and, apologized for the position he put the team in, the bullpen in with a long series. And Strider's like, well, if you look at the BABIP and, expected exit velocity and God.
Oh, someone asked in the chat why not just bring a shirt instead of sending it to him. I'm not going to have an extra shirt in hand. I'm wearing a medium that fits me nice. We're going to probably need like an XL for that big buff tie.
X or a 2X. Yeah.
I want it tight. So, he looks ripped because he's in good shape, but we don't have that yet. So that's why.
Yeah, we don't have the shirts on hand, guys. We got them. Bleav, our company, has them at the warehouse. And so we'd have to ship them. But no, otherwise, it's a great idea. It's a great point.
Exactly. Yeah. And Malik, of course, Malik, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Again, that'll be a good chance I'll be live on the channel. Hopefully after Monsters wins against the Dodgers.
Trumpets.
I might see trumpets on Friday, though. It's okay.
No, but trumpets in person. Guys, comment. Should Tyler... All right, guys, you're the audience, right? You're the ones who love tea.
Thank you for the donation, by the way, Robert. I appreciate you.
Should Tyler go to the game with Timmy Trumpets potentially being there live to play Narco for Diaz? Should he come in? Or is it more important that Tyler stays home and goes live after the game? Guys, it's his birthday. Comment. Whatever you comment, whatever gets more comments is what he'll do.
Joe really wants me to go to the game. He wants to live that experience for me.
Okay. Birthday, man.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Let's go back. Let's pivot back to Mad Max, as you mentioned, that hot take. Here's the thing. I don't think that's a terrible idea. However, there's no chance in hell it's going to happen. Are the Mets really going to do a phantom IL with Max Scherzer, the one man who simply will not allow it more than anything? I mean, he's the guy that
arm last year.
But I get the sentiment. I get what you're saying. I just don't see a world where that's going to happen.
I will say that's not an original idea. That idea actually originated from my dad when the Mets signed him. Like, that was a preseason call. Shout out my dad, George Ceraulo. If you guys are regulars at Citi Field, George C. runs the promenade, 4 and 500s. If you're regulars at the ballpark, he's been working there since 2010. So shout out to him. That was his idea. He said when they signed him that we should actually shut him down for 2 weeks in August. But obviously went on the IL, came back like a bat out of hell. And because of his last 3 starts, how many? 3. There we go. 3 starts. He's struggled by his own standards. I just think a start off, and then only IL him so you can get another arm up. But it would really, the way you can maneuver it is he just missed 1 start. I just think it would be good.
Daddy Ceraulo and with the hot takes from months ago.
Where do you think I got it from, man?
Oh, I know.
Where do you think? Look, my mom is an absolute sweetheart, but my parents, polar opposites, right? My mom would never do this on camera stuff. My dad was an actor, and just like I'm doing right now, lived in LA in his 20s, now is back in New York. So yeah, where do you think I got it from?
So one more thing to add, talking about the podcast for a minute before we expand more on the game and then wrap up the show. I'd say over the next 10 minutes, if not less. But a buddy of mine was able to get me the Max Scherzer bobblehead. That was the giveaway tonight where they had, the K counter. And I figured, the same way that we're doing a t-shirt giveaway on the channel over this next week or so, let's also throw in that bobblehead. We'll make it interesting. Once we reach a certain sub count, that'll go to a random subscriber. If you guys, even not that I think you would want us to, but if you want me to actually sign the box for fun, I will for sure. If there's one thing I like to brag about, it's my signature. I don't know why. I just enjoy it. It's very simple.
Is it a good signature?
I think so. It has the WardyNYM kind of W in it. It's simple. It's very simple. Let me know if you like it or you think it's stupid.
Yeah, let me see. You got it in front of you. It's amazing.
Hold on.
I got to get the first home run ball I have. It's like back home in my stepdad's man cave, and that's got my signature on it.
All right. This is usually my signature for everything.
Let me see. Oh, getting a fresh one. Playing right field for the Los Angeles Angels.
So this is usually what my signature is. Just simple. I just like the TW. That's all I do. I don't write anything more than that. And usually it looks better than this. That
kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie. Like I definitely mess with it, dude. I'm a big fan of the JC. Like I got a full.
I forgot to tell you, JC is my middle name. Just the initials.
Your full name is Tyler JC Ward.
Correct.
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. It goes because my grandmother and my great grandfather's initials are both JC. So that was my parents' creative way of saying, let's throw J.C as your middle name.
So there's now a big three. It used to be a dynamic duo of JCs. Now that I know this, there's a big three. It is Tyler J.C. Ward. JC is in Joe Ceraulo. And then the person I'm always compared to, Jesus Christ. It's a big three of JC.
My 7th grade social studies teacher said, and when asked about my middle name, is that for Jesus Christ? And that just showed you the type of curriculum that I was dealing with at the time. She wasn't joking. She was.
Oh, wow, that's bad. You know, it's funny. I don't know how we got here, but I love it. I got my buddy last night. I was out with one of my coworkers at Bleav. We were out bar hopping, and I don't know, we were drinking. There were shenanigans, and I knocked his phone out of his hand. And his phone had been broken for the last 4 months. Like, it wouldn't vibrate. All of a sudden, that fixed it when I knocked it out of his hand. And he looked at me and he goes, "Who are you, Jesus Christ? You got us free drinks by flirting with the bartender."
You have the holes from like Padre Pio in your hands out of nowhere.
Dude, it was like, he's like, "You got us free drinks by flirting with the bartender. You fixed my phone by knocking it out of my hand." He's like, "Are you Jesus Christ?" I'm sorry if that offended anyone in the chat, by the way.
You should have threw your water bottle on him just for good measure. All right, let's get back to Mets talk. Nora's asking who the hell's the guy on the right. That is my co-host Joe Ceraulo, the beauty that he is, the guy that's twice my size, and we can't go one day without being short. You weren't the only one. I put photos of the merch today on the community tab. And one of my members, James Carroll, shout out to you, James, appreciate you, said, I love the shirt. Do they have it in something that isn't a size kids? And I was like,
oh, for those of you who don't know, yesterday, I when the Mets had Eddie from Long Island, the Kidcaster, on, I texted Tyler in our group chat with me, him, and Rec and said, "Hey, T, did you apply to be the Kidcaster this year?" So I love giving my short king shit.
And then naturally, I got to go Big Bird as the counter. So they go in hand. They go in hand.
We're a foot apart. Right? 6'4", 5'5".
Yeah.
That picture we took at Citi Field, electric.
I was concerned that you're going to break your back as you're bending to hug me. So I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you don't need a brace. But
I'm so glad we got to meet.
Let's get, you know what? Before we wrap up the show, let's bring in a bunny. For people are asking to see a bunny in the live chat right now. I usually bring in one of my bunnies as like Mets won, so let me show you a bunny for fun. Have you seen?
I had to have one of Hugh's girls run in. I thought that's what.
Yeah, right. You just hear in the back like hopping. But I'm gonna go grab one of my bunnies quick. So while I do, Joe, why don't you ask the live chat a question?
Sure. I mean, I can't see the live chat, but
go on YouTube or go on your phone quick. You'll be able to see it.
Oh, good. All right, good point. Well, I got you on my TV, but yeah, I don't know because I'm looking at StreamYard. Asking a live chat question. All right, Old Timers Day is this Saturday, tomorrow, Citi Field. If we could have one Met from Old Timers Day as a guest on Bleav in Queens with Tyler, myself, and Anthony Recker, guys, who would you like us to go after? One Met from Old Timers Day. Who do you want to hear from the most of the approximately 40, 50 guys that are going to be there? Let's see. I'm going to try to pull this up on my phone.
That's a great question. And again, we don't have availability to everyone. I'd like to emphasize that. I would be lying if I said that we haven't been actively trying to get one specific player whose name will not be mentioned. So yes.
Oh, okay. Wow, these are coming in hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. First off, to Nora the Great. 2 things behind me. That is because I'm a big football guy. Baseball and football are my top 2 sports I cover. Those are ticket stubs from every Super Bowl, the first 55 Super Bowls. I won that at Wayne Gretzky's Super Bowl party in 2020. It was the
Imagine being at Wayne Gretzky's Super Bowl party. This hot shot mofo out here.
That's where I won that. Super Bowl's big for me.
Please tell me you actually know something about Leno before going there.
Of course I know Gretzky. Dude, I mean, I'm not like hockey's my least paid attention to of the big 4, but like, come on, dude. Yeah.
Okay. You know that if Wayne Gretzky didn't score a goal, he would still lead the league in points by a ridiculous margin.
Yes. It's insane.
He was literally an anomaly of a player.
So Super Bowl is big for me. That's kind of what put me on the map with media. Covered my first Super Bowl at 19 years old. It was the one in Minneapolis. I've been to 5 straight now. So that's why that's important. Cool. And that actually, that belonged to my uncle, who was actually a diehard Yankees fan, but a huge memorabilia collector. He passed away in June a couple months ago. Left me that. That's signed by 6 of the 1969 Mets. Let's see if I can do this really quick. Cleon Jones, Art Shamsky. I'm blanking on the last name. First name JC was the backup catcher to Grody.
Oh yeah. We talked about
JC
it.
Martin, Ron Swoboda. We got Cleon, Shamsky, JC Martin, Ron Swoboda, Al Weiss. And I'm blanking on the last one, the sixth one. His last name starts with a B. But yeah, so that's 69 Mets, and that's Super Bowl. I got to get a St. Bonaventure pennant flag right here.
Yeah, you do. You got to get like Mr. Gray's photo blown up on your wall while you're at it.
Yeah, and then I'll be complete. T, what were the results of the question I asked?
Seeing a lot of Piazza, seeing a lot of Murph, seeing some Floyd thrown there as well. Seeing some Big Sexy. By the way, Big Sexy just simply will not do it. There's a reason why you do not catch Big Sexy in any interviews outside of his playing career. One, we don't know how strong his English is, and two, he just ain't gonna do it. Big Sexy is trying out for the Mets tomorrow. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, for Team Miracle. He's not going there just for the sake of he's going there to carve up some motherfuckers with a broken hip is what he's trying to do. Strawberry, we got him there. We don't see anyone name a name that very well could be the person we get on Sunday. Again, to be determined. So that'll be interesting. Again, there's out of 65 players, so it's not going to be easy to predict who we're potentially working on right now. Darren, what's up? Guys, we got to get love in the chat. Darren's in. Probably like 4 a.m. his time.
Darren, we've got merch. It's absolute scenes, baby. Absolute scenes. We've got merch, Darren. I love you. I hope your mom is doing well, man.
Yes.
You are the best, Darren.
Yes. 100%. We love Darren. Get some love in the chat for
absolute
phenomenal
scenes.
Member on the channel. Ed with the $2 donation for Playoffs, Bleav in Queens live podcast. Some big things may very well be happening come playoffs, Ed. I'll leave it at that. Appreciate that donation. A lot of stuff's going to go down come playoff time. But guys, before we go forward here in the show, you asked for it, so let's get it. Joe, this is one of the two bunnies I have. Her name's Stormy. And no, not because of Stormy Kylie's. She's a Lionhead bunny. She looks like it's hard to see because it's dark, but she's like a thunderstorm color.
Yeah,
absolute
I've
sweetheart.
never seen a bunny that looks like that.
Yeah, they're calling Lionheads. I have another named Gigi. She's my older one. I just don't bring her on the shows as much because she's a little bit more of a pain in the ass to get out of the cage while I'm live. I need to put the cage down, let her hop out. But Gigi, the whole bunny thing started last year because my first year on YouTube. What I would do is I wouldn't do post-game shows really. I would do live in-game shows a lot. And that was brutal for a Mets team that lost far more games than they won when I did it. But what was fun was, especially when the Mets were losing the game, I would bring my other bunny Gigi in and we call it a rally rabbit. So I bring her in the 7th, hold her for the whole inning. And if the Mets would rally and come back to win, then we would thank her for the reason for it. But now what I've done this year, Stormy, I call her my closer. She is the Edwin Diaz for the show here. We bring her in after big wins and stuff. And what's funny about her as well is she's like a dog. She licks people. She licks like crazy. She'll just be licking my finger right now. It's hilarious. I've never seen a bunny act the way she is, but she's a sweetheart. Hype in the chat, Stormy. Perfect for a blackout night that we have, the Black Thunder that is Stormy out here.
We're both wearing black. You got the black schmuck shirt. I got the black Bleav in Queens tag.
And add something even more exciting, Joe, is that as long as we're going to talk with Bleav to see if, they'll hold things merchandise for the channel, I'm going to get a shirt design that's called G-Storm for Gigi and Stormy. Ooh. And we're going to get some bunny Mets type collab going on there. It's going to be
got more merch coming, guys. We need we've already got 6 shirts. We need a holy cannoli shirt, CAHN Oli for Mark Canna.
We got to trademark it. Don't.
Yeah. I'm trying to go through trademarking all of our stuff.
Yeah, you heard nothing, folks. You heard nothing.
Hey, these are good people. They're Mets fans. Maybe Malik might try to pull one.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if we have a cannoli? Could you imagine if we have a cannoli, but we have it with the number 19 is printed on it, and then out at the end of cannoli, you just see Canna's face, his head peeking out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That'd be amazing. I love these answers, by the way. Got one Mazzilli.
Plus he's a big foodie.
Who? Canna?
Yeah.
Oh, true. Got one Mazzilli for a guest. By the way, Mazzilli, I didn't realize, I was watching the game tonight. Silver Fox.
I mentioned, yeah.
Good for Lee Mazzilli.
Dude, those veteran Italians, they're staying sharp. I'm surprised. I will say, at least he didn't have the whole Paulie Walnuts. May rest in peace, of course. Yeah. Knowing the Sopranos with having, the what's it called when you have your gray hairs on the side? Slick. What's that called? Why am I blanking? There's a term for it.
You talking salt and pepper? You talking?
No, there's a specific term for it when it's like slicked on the sides where the top's black, but the sides are gray. Shit, someone in the chat has to know out of the 300 plus you. Someone let me know.
Comment if you know what he's talking about. I will say I did text my mom because she's born in 71. So she grew up watching Mazzilli, both stints.
Wayne's.
Oh, I know. Yep. And I texted her after I saw him and I was like, hey, Mom, did you used to have a crush on Lee Mazzilli? Because I would have. I was like, whoa.
Oh, my mom loved Wally Backman back in the day.
That was my mom's guy. That's what she said. She goes, no, I was a Backman girl.
Small world. But guys, before we wrap up the show, everybody, I would like to let everyone know again to please make sure to check out Joe Ceraulo separately. He has his own phenomenal sports podcast, does a weekly, has all different types of sports personalities on his show weekly. And Joe, let everyone know where they can find you for their podcast and potentially what you have coming up, if anything.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. The show is Ceraulo Sports Talk. Took a little 2-week break in August. The show comes back next week. Going to have a starting NFL quarterback on the show next week to preview the upcoming season. So that show, I work baseball in whenever I can. A lot of football.
Can you tell me AFC or NFC at least as a hint?
AFC. Starting AFC quarterback coming on next week. Ceraulo Sports Talk. Last name is Ceraulo. You can find us there. Also, from March to July, it was a national radio show. We're looking at bringing that back in September after this little vacation in August. It was on Sports Map Radio, syndicated over 60 markets in the country: Houston, Phoenix, San Diego, etc. Ceraulo Sports Talk. Check it out, and Bleav in Queens. And then 2 new shows are in the works. One of them I can announce because it's all set to start next week, dropping Thursday morning, September 1st on the Bleav Network. Bleav Me, it's going to be our lead betting show, hosted by myself, alongside Brandon Lang, the professional handicapper and real-life inspiration for Matthew McConaughey's character in the movie Two for the Money, as well as former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, Pro Bowler in the NFL, All-American at the University of Colorado. Tyler's a big Steelers fan, so he's pumped. Cordell Stewart. So we're going to have myself.
Dang, that's going to be sick.
Brandon Lang is the pro handicapper, Cordell as the professional football player, to get the 2 different perspectives. So that'll be show number 3, and I'll have a 4th show starting in about 2 weeks as well.
I don't know how you're going to be able to balance us all and prioritize our Bleav in Queens, but man, you were an absolute trooper. You're getting
I love
the
it,
job
man.
done.
I love it.
It's very sick. All right, guys. Again, you heard the man. Make sure to check him out for all those shows that he currently has and upcoming. Again, guys, if you want to check out the merchandise, one more time for the people in the back. Before we get out of here for the show tonight, I do have the graphic right up here to show you guys. We have 7 different designs. The only one that currently isn't showing right now is a trumpet shirt, and you can get them all in black, white, orange, and blue. We got the Bleav in Queens tanks. I know Darren's going to be repping awesome. Bleav in Queens normal t-shirts. Bringing Volga back. Bringing sexy back. No, we're bringing Volga back, baby. Get wrecked that I just showed you guys having black beside me right now. The schmuck shirt I'm wearing in black. Prospects are cool. Parades are cooler. Whatever you guys want. And again, trumpet. And this is just the first rollout of a lot of merch we're going to be having come out here for the channel. But again, guys, that is at shop.bleav.com. When you go down to the left, in case you don't click the link down in the description and type it up yourself, go down to the left. It's going to ask you what shows you want to click on. Obviously, click on Bleav in Queens. You'll have your 7 shirt options. Prices are good too, $25, $27. All competitors right now are between $30 to $35 and even $40. So I mean, not trying to brag too much, but we're doing the best that we can for the public, even in what's going on with this inflation-based economy. So check it out, guys. Make sure you do. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will not be live tomorrow. I'm going to be out of town all day while I'm watching Old Timers Day and the Mets game. Might do a quick recap on my phone if I'm competent enough celebrating the birthday tomorrow, so we'll see. No less, we'll be back live Sunday for Mad Max's start in the finale against the Rockies as of now. Should Williams not start, as Joe alluded to as a possibility, would be a good idea. I'm not going to complain there. But guys, stay tuned. Bleav in Queens with potentially a former Met other than Anthony Recker will be out eventually early on Monday on the off day. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and Joe, let's go Mets.
Can I say one last thing, Tyler?
Go ahead.
One last thing. Absolute scenes, baby. LFGM.